In this video, we're taking a detailed look at the Air Tech Pack 2. Make sure to check out packhacker.com for the full written review with photos. We'll leave links down below. So this is the Tech Pack 2, like we said, from Air. It is part of the work collection that has been updated. So there's some improvements that you may see from the original version. We're just going to go through that today. So I'm going to flip it over and start with the harness system. You know, the straps are, you know, they're pretty typical Air. I feel like there's some things on this bag, like if you look at the materials, the 1680D Cordura ballistic nylon, the AquaGuard zippers with the super jangly zipper pulls. These are all things that if you know Air, you're probably used to seeing, and a lot of that is here too. I think these straps are also one of those things. So they're comfortable and they're cushioned. You know, there's some nice padding, there's some nice mesh, but they're not overbuilt, I wouldn't say, for a bag of this size. They are comfortable enough, but they're not gonna like win any like super plushy cush awards. The back panel has some pretty dense, you can see my like finger sticking in there. There's some really nice padding on the back panel and mesh with kind of a channel down the middle, which does help with airflow. The bag can still get hot just because it's like a black bag. We've been testing it in summer for about 2 weeks in Detroit, and you know, walking around the city, it can get a little warm, but that's just gonna happen, you know. Also, since we're here on the back panel, there is a luggage pass-through. I've used it a few times as a handle to pick the bag up if it's fallen over on the ground, because the bag does stand up by itself. But anyways, there is a luggage pass-through. If you're traveling with this thing, you want to slip it over your roller luggage handle. There is a lot of structure in this bag, which is why it stands up by itself. It does make it easy to get in and out of. It also makes it feel kind of like a brick when you're wearing it. It's very stiff, there's a lot of structure to it, and it's flat. Like, you can feel the flatness against your back, especially if you try to really cinch it down, or cinch it up rather, and have it carry high. You kind of feel it sort of working against your back or pulling away from it a little bit. Some other bags we've tested that have a little more curve to the back panel sort of help mitigate that, but it's just something we've noticed here. It's not uncomfortable. Again, it takes a little bit of adjusting though. Found that if it's a little lower, if you wear it a little lower, at least for us in our testing, we've worn it a little lower than we typically wear other bags, and you know, been able to get it pretty comfortable. Pretty standard sternum strap, slides up and down to get it where you need it. There are some elastic keepers, which we always appreciate, and a little D-ring here to help you if you want to clip a carabiner and carry some stuff externally. Before we jump in, last note are these handles. So there's a grab handle at the top. It's a seatbelt material. There's some foam in there. It's actually really nice to grab. Both of these handles have been really nice. There's a side one if you want to pick it up briefcase style, or if it's on the ground you need to grab it. This top one has been especially nice. If you can tell, it kind of sticks out a little bit. Not so much that it's intrusive or gets in the way so far, but enough that it's very easy to just find and grab. You don't have to go digging for it or like look for the handle. It's just always right there. So let's open this thing up. First, you've got this front compartment. It's got sort of this polyurethane coated nylon on the front here. We have picked up a few scuffs. If you can see, there's like a white scuff here in the middle. There's a few other small ones around the bag. We open up, and this is the first of 3 larger compartments. So this one here, we'll lay it down for you, has the tech organization. And again, if you're familiar with Air, this should look relatively familiar to you, this organization style. It's pretty common in some of their bags, and it's nice. It's simple, it's enough, it's effective, and it holds all of our tech. Also, the material itself is one of the things that has been upgraded in this newer iteration. So in older airbags, like if you look at the Air Travel Pack, for example, it's kind of a swishier material. It feels a little just more like a traditional liner. This has a bit of a roughness to it, but like in a good way. It's not like rough to the touch. It just feels a little more rugged, a little nicer, a little more like of a matte finish instead of shiny. As you can see, I got my roost stand that I've just been throwing in here. There is some dimension in this pocket. If you have, the roost stand, or maybe a larger pair of headphones, you can throw that in the front, or also snacks or something, whatever loose stuff you have. And typically, I'm a fan of tech pouches, but I'm using all the organization here to get a feel for it, make sure that we really understand what's going on, and it's been working great. So there are some starting at the very top. We have a zippered pocket. It fits this is a Baron Fig Vanguard soft cover notebook. This is it's like 5.5 by 7.5 inches for size reference. It fits vertically in this pocket just about perfect. You could squeeze it down in one of these elastic pockets, but it's a very tight fit, and I found if I had other pokey things, like my mouse is up here, some other bulky stuff, it just kind of got in the way and didn't feel great. And I didn't love having it loose. I mean, you totally could have it loose at the bottom, but if you throw it at the top, I found it really easy to grab and go. So just below this zippered pocket that has the key leash inside of it, right here, you do have some elastic at the top for these liner pockets. So there are 2 liner pockets that are a little bit larger. For size reference, I've got my Apple Magic Mouse in one, and it just fits great. And then a couple of pen sleeves in the middle for pens, pencils, stylus, those types of things. And then another pocket that's the same as this one that I've been keeping my mouse in on this side. And then in front of that is a bit of a mesh pocket, which you can see here. I've just been keeping some wireless earbuds in there. It's a good size for that. And then down here, which we alluded to, there are larger pockets that are very similar to this up here, just a little bit bigger. So I've been keeping, Apple MacBook charger in one, fits it great. And then the other one's just been other loose cords and dongles and USB-C hubs and miscellaneous things like that. Like I said, you could squeeze that notebook in there. It just didn't feel quite great, so opted to keep all my cords down here. So that's the first of the 3 compartments. Next, we'll talk about the main compartment, which is one back. And I do dig this organization. I like being able to have, tech stuff on the front, laptop on the back, and then open main compartment to put other things. If you're using this as a work bag, you can throw your lunch in here. I've got a compressible rain jacket just sort of tossed in because I like to carry it with me, so it's nice to have that extra layer. And then as far as organization goes, there are 2 sleeves inside this main compartment. So one is a little stretchy, no padding or anything, just a nice stretchy sleeve if you want to keep your stuff separated. I have used it a few times to throw my roost stand in here, but it works just as well to throw it in the front, so I've been doing that. And then behind it is another sleeve. It has a little bit of padding, not as much as the laptop sleeve, which we'll cover in a minute. But if you have a second device, I've used it for an iPad. So if you have a tablet, maybe if you're carrying a secondary computer or something that you want to, carry around with you, you can use that. There is a false bottom. It is pulled up a little bit. Sorry, you can't really see that. There's a bit of false bottom, and like I said, a little bit of padding. So it's been great for a tablet or that secondary device. Now, a note on this main compartment is it is a little tight. However, it's worked well, and this is a 17-liter bag, so you're not going to get a whole bunch of, there's actually 2 sleeves here. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. A lower one, an upper one, and then that padded one, so there's 2 elastics. You're not going to get a whole bunch of stuff in here, but if you're using it as an everyday bag, depending on what you carry, you might not need that. I will say also, once you get past this point, about halfway down the bag where it's folding over here, it does feel like it opens up a little bit. So I've actually used this as a bag for a weekend trip where all I needed was, a change of clothes and a small dop kit, and being able to fit all of that right here in the main compartment. So if you were traveling for business, let's say, and you had to go to, go on a flight, stay somewhere overnight for a meeting, then, you could potentially get away with using this as your only bag. Also, something to note, inside this main compartment on this flap side, there is a zippered compartment that holds a frame sheet, which you can take out if you want to. It's kind of there to help give it some of that structure that this bag has. It doesn't like crumple or anything without it, but it does keep it a little more stiff and flexible. If you want, you know, to maybe pack out this main compartment a little bit more, it might give you a little bit of extra room to do so. So that is the main compartment. And then the final large compartment is the laptop compartment itself. As you can see, one zipper goes down further than the other. So on this side it goes down, you know, about 3/4 of the way, and this side it goes down about 1/4 of the way, and that just gives you some nice access to the compartment in here. Again, we have a laptop sleeve with a false bottom, which is a great update on earlier airbags. You know, one of our big complaints was there was no false bottom. Love to see that's been added. And then another elastic in front of it, which I've just been using to toss my keyboard. I like stuff in this compartment to be flat. So there's a little bit of room at the bottom, but it's not anything close to like the main compartment. So it's just been nice to throw a keyboard and laptop in the laptop sleeve, which has this nice kind of felt lining to help protect it from scratches, and just keep my tech stuff, you know, kind of like I said, in the back and in the front. So the big stuff is in the back, and then all my little bits and parts are up here in the front. And those are the 3 main compartments. Like I said, the organization has been working well. There are a few more pockets. So right at the top, you'll see a quick grab pocket. It is lined with that similar soft material that the laptop sleeve is lined with, and there is some like padding built in. So, you know, it's good for, we have our sunglasses in here right now. You could throw your phone in here. We've done that, and it's, you know, it feels protected and nice. Got a wallet in here also. Just kind of, you know, quick grab things. Also dig that it's got the AquaGuard zipper at the top to help protect things. If you have your phone in there, you don't want water getting in, so that's a nice touch. And then finally, we have a pocket on each side. So on one side, you have the water bottle pocket, and it's got this little elastic to help it stay flat, but also stretch out to accommodate larger bottles. Been testing the 32-ounce Hydro Flask. This is the Trail Weight edition, lightweight trail edition. So it's a little skinnier than the traditional, but it fits in here quite nice. Plenty of room. One thing I will say is I've had it fall out on me one time in testing. As you can see there, it kind of tipped over and fell out. It wasn't a big deal because it was just kind of like when I was grabbing it out of my car, I think it was. So it wasn't a huge deal. I didn't lose a water bottle or anything, but because of that, every time I used this pocket, I was aware of the fact that it could slip out and just kind of kept that in the back of my mind. It only happened the one time, but it is something to note. And then on the other side, you have this zippered pocket, and it's nice for just small, quick grab things. I've got snacks in there right now, but you could put maybe headphones, maybe your phone if you want it down here instead of on top, so you could like get it without taking the bag off. Just small stuff. It's pretty tight, you know, there's not much dimension here, so it's better for flat stuff, but it is a nice little pocket to have on the outside. So there you have it. That is the Air Tech Pack 2. Make sure to check out packhacker.com for more information and the best buying options. We'll leave links down below, and we'll see you in the next video.